Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. It's going to be a great session. This is our last one for advisors and members of the chapter development series for this year. Yay, we've been through a whole year. Can you believe it already? And we're glad you could be with us today. This one is really an important session. It's all about your professional development and also more about your benefits in PTK through PTK Connect. And we have two really great presenters today. So I'm going to start off. I'm going to introduce them to you, and then we're going to turn everything over to them. So first, Heather Yesh, who is our Senior Director of College Relations at Phi Theta Kappa, is a graduate of Marietta College with a bachelor's in psychology and Ohio University, where she earned her master's in psychology. Heather has 16 consecutive years of higher education experience and currently serves as the Senior Director of College Relations at Phi Theta Kappa. Her team at PTK is responsible for cultivating relationships with over 1,000. Did you hear that number? 1,000 four-year colleges, over 800 of them which have designated exclusive scholarships, ding, 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 scholarships for PTK members at their institutions. Prior to her service in the nonprofit sector, Heather worked as a transfer admissions counselor and recruiter at Louisiana State University, a full-time collegiate coach and recruiting coordinator at College of Charleston in South Carolina, and Coffeyville Community College, and as a community college instructor and academic advisor at Independence Community College in Kansas, of Netflix acclaim. Wow, she's been all over the country in higher education. I didn't know all that about you, Heather. This is very interesting, very good. And she's joined today by our dear friend, Barbara Dimopoulos. Barbara was an advisor for the Beta Theta Lambda chapter at PTK at Merritt College since October 2006. Although she retired in June 2020, their college president, Dr. Johnson, asked her to continue to be a co-advisor due to the pandemic. And we are so glad that he did that and she stayed around for it. As a result, their chapter has been able to remain active on campus, and that's huge. So thank you, Barbara. Additionally, she's the treasurer and the sponsor liaison for the Nevada, California Regional Alumni Association. In the past, she's been honored with the Nevada, California Region Horizon Award for Advisors in March 2015, the Nevada, California Region Alumni and PTK Appreciation Award in 2021, and the PTK Headquarters Alumni Association Team Hallmark Award in 2022. That was a good one. I remember that one. Congratulations to all that. She is grateful for the opportunity to continue service as an advisor as a retiree and hope to make it until 2026 when she will complete 26 years of service. So thank you to both Heather and Barbara for joining us and doing this today. I am going to turn it over to them. And remember, use the chat if you have any questions as we go along. Thanks.
Thank you very much, student engagement team and Patty. We appreciate you very much for inviting our college relations team. And then, of course, I got really excited about the opportunity to bring in some more folks and had Barbara. I kind of voluntold her, I think, that she needed to join me for this session today because she's been ultra involved and engaged with PTK virtual fairs. And I had a suspicion she was also a PTK Connect expert. So I'm very excited for her to join me and offer some insights that I think will be more applicable and relevant to some of you advisors in the room today. So here's the plan of action. I do have a PowerPoint. Let me share my screen with you all real quickly. And this will not be a PowerPoint heavy presentation. I promise you that. It's going to be pretty exciting as far as a live demo. And am I in presentation mode? Does that look good? All right, thank you for the thumbs up. Okay, so let me back up here, and as far as the bio and kind of explaining what all of that really means in terms of why I'm here and why I serve the college relations team at PTK, I really want to share with you my why so that you can kind of understand how I've centered this presentation and why I think it's important to say the things I'm saying to students and advisors today. First of all, thanks for being here. My why in terms of those partnerships that Patty mentioned in my bio, in my description, is really about expanding and increasing access to opportunities for students at four-year colleges. That is our day-to-day mission, and that's what we do in college relations all day, every day. So if you are feeling inspired or excited by anything I have to say today, please give me some feedback. I'd love to hear it. Even if it's a list of colleges where you'd like to see more benefits as far as scholarships or recruitment activity going on, we are here to help and serve you and support you. So let me change the page here and show you, whoops, let me get these toolbars out of the way. Hopefully you're not seeing all the Zoom toolbars popping up on you like I do on my side, but I'm part of the college relations team. Here is our alias. So again, if you have any comments, questions, feedback, anything related to PTK Connect or our partnerships with four-year colleges, we need to hear from you. And I think you'll see by the end of this presentation how important it is that you all are very active and engaged in this process and not just passively consuming information. So we're going to talk a little bit about what that really means and looks like for you. So this is our team. Sorry for the bad lighting in the picture, but that was PTK Catalyst, and you know the crazy lighting all over the stage, so we can't control the color of the background here. And I am not a Photoshop expert, so there you go. But that's me, that's Emily, our newest team member, our college relations coordinator, and then Ron Filipowicz, who's been around for a while, so you probably know Ron. If you don't know who we are, you'll see us running every which way at PTK Catalyst, so we'll be excited to see you there, and please stop us and say hello. You also might recognize our faces from the virtual transfer fairs. We did 17 of those this year. And I think we've done a total of about 50 plus since the pandemic started. So you've probably seen me or heard my voice a couple times here and there over the past few years for sure. All right, special guests. We've got Barbara, yay, our chapter advisor representative for the panel today, and she's going to offer some amazing insights. I'm really excited to hear what she has to say. She's already shared a few things with me that I think are going to be little gems or nuggets that you'll want to take back to your chapter with you after this presentation. So thank you, Barbara. We will get to you shortly. And then as far as PTK Connect, here's what I want you to know today. So apologies for looking over here, but my screens are all spread out around me. PTK Connect is, believe it or not, a free membership benefit. So that's the topic of conversation today. And a few things, if you're trying to explain what is PTK Connect to someone else, whether it's a prospective member, a new advisor, or such, you know, this is the best way to explain it. Instead of Googling all of your different college options, all of your scholarship options, all of your career options, you know, you could have 55 screens or tabs pulled up, and that's all good and could serve your purposes, but that might take a while. So in terms of efficiency, we are the only organization that has transfer specific information for students and career specific information all in one place. And our target audience is you, our high achieving community college students and PTK members. So if you want transfer information exclusively, this is the place to get it. It's kind of your one-stop shop. And that really is the truth, because I don't know if you all have tried lately, but if you try to find transfer information on some college and university websites, it can be buried and it can be quite difficult to even find updated information. So my favorite part, which probably should have been the first bullet point, not the last, is this PTK Connect platform is constantly updated by four-year colleges. So Barbara, I'm sorry, not Barbara, Patty mentioned we had 1,000 partners. Those colleges and universities go in daily and can update information about their college and their university specific to transfer and specific to scholarships. And I'll show you what I'm talking about in just a minute during the live demo. I'm going to show you exactly what kind of stats, pictures, videos, student reviews, scholarship listings, all of that good stuff, like what that looks like for an actual college profile. The other thing about PTK Connect is it's free. So if you're a member of PTK, you have access to it right now. And I'm also going to show you how to log in and make sure you know where to go to access your PTK Connect platform on your PTK member website or member dashboard. This is for both transfer students and career students. So there are a couple different components to PTK Connect, not just searching for colleges and scholarships, but also for careers. And it is also available all the time. So we did optimize this for computers, laptops, other devices. You should not have a problem no matter where you're searching or what time of day, obviously, since it is an online free platform, and website. Let me pull up my chat here, just make sure that we've got everything in one place here. All right. If you all have any comments, I will try my best to look at the chat on top of my PowerPoint here. So first, let's talk about how to get into PTK Connect. Before we do the demo, I'm going to give you one more little piece of advice, I guess I'll call it. Your first step with PTK Connect. Believe it or not, it's not to just go into the website and have at it. The first step is to self-reflect. And the reason I say this, coming from my background in all things college and working with students for a very, very long time, it is great. PTK Connect is awesome, but it is also not magical. And so what I mean by that is just going onto a website and doing some searches isn't really going to solve your problems or give you the answers to the questions that you have. You have to first start with yourself. So let's think about it this way. You go into a store, maybe you're going grocery shopping, you start walking around up and down the aisles. We all know what happens when we don't have a list and we don't have anything in mind in particular that we want to purchase. We start overspending. We come home and we realize we didn't get half the ingredients we needed for dinner. And it's just kind of like aimless, right? So I don't want you to get all wrapped up in PTK Connect and feel like you're just spinning your wheels. Rather, I would like you to think about, what are your interests? What are your strengths? What are your goals? What are your skills? Do a little assessment of yourself. Because if you have an idea, at least, of what you're looking for in terms of large school, small school, online university, on-campus university, you have to do some prior thinking about yourself and what has allowed you to be successful in the environment you're in right now. So when you're making this move to transfer, for example, you still have to understand generally what you're looking for before you dive into PTK Connect. I don't want you to get overwhelmed, and I think this is the best way to do it, is just make a quick list of the things that are important to you first. So that's my best advice before you dig in. Next, you do want to bookmark connect.ptk.org if you want to remember how to quickly log in and get into access the site. So we're going to do a little demo here, and I'm going to bring to life some of these things that I have mentioned. And can you please tell me if you can see a member dashboard? Okay, thank you. That was easier than I thought. So let me share with you what this looks like. So this is what a student dashboard looks like. You should be familiar if you've ever logged into ptk.org. And if you want to get to the PTK Connect components, you can simply click right here where it says PTK Connect, and then you'll see the three functions that I just talked about: search colleges, search scholarships, search careers. So I'm going to do a very, very brief demo, and then I'm going to give you some really important tips in terms of things that you could miss out on that would be unfortunate, and I don't want that to happen to you. You may need to make some adjustments right after this meeting ends, because I might show you some things on PTK Connect that you didn't really even know existed, and now that you know they exist, you might need to go make some changes to optimize your opportunities that you're getting from four-year colleges, for example. So let me share with you first. I'm going to go the career bound way, and then we're going to work backwards just a little bit. So let's say maybe you have students in your chapters, advisors, or students who are here today. This might be you yourself or somebody in your chapter. You may have students that say, you know what? I'm good after the associate degree or after my certificate. I really don't want to go on to get a bachelor's degree maybe right now. I want to go into the workforce. I'm workforce bound. I've got a credential. I'm ready to go do something and earn my wage and get a career jump started for myself. So if that is your goal and your ambition, we still want you to know about PTK Connect, because you can actually still find some information that's super helpful. So if you were, for example, maybe thinking about nursing, I'm just going to come up with a random career search here. There is all sorts of information that is sourced by, we've got the Bureau of Labor Statistics. We've also got information by state as well as by salary. So you can arrange this however you want to look at it in terms of what are the salaries by state and what are the employment opportunities in terms of the number of opportunities within those fields. And then we also have some Bureau of Labor Statistics information on those national salary averages up here, and kind of like a little, it looks like a little dashboard here for you to look at as well. The really interesting thing about this too is if you did want to look at something career-wise and you still wanted to consider a bachelor's degree, I want to show you another option. So let me share with you just making something up again, aerospace engineering. All right, let me see what I could do here as far as aerospace engineering. But let's say this is a student who may want to consider going on for a bachelor's degree. If you look over here under majors, it actually gives you some majors that could align with a career. So you can start backwards perhaps and know that you want to do something in aerospace engineering, but maybe you don't know what kind of degree you should even be looking at for a bachelor's. So this is interesting to me that, you know, we have a lot of virtual fairs, as I mentioned earlier, and a lot of times students will say, I want to be an aerospace engineer, so I need to major in aerospace engineering. Well, maybe, but there's other options out there. So this is what I like about using this career tool in reverse, is it actually gives you some other choices that you may not even know exist. You may not even have ever heard of mechanical engineering, but now that you have that information, you can work backwards and say, oh, well, if I want to learn about this thing called mechanical engineering, where should I be looking? Like, which colleges actually offer a degree in mechanical? So you don't really have to know a whole lot. This can actually help you understand and cultivate a list of options for you. So this goes into kind of the transfer side of things now. So we can get to this screen, you know, the way that we just did through the career search, or we can get there through searching by college or scholarship. So let me show you what happens when you, for example, click on one of these college options that say they offer mechanical engineering. All right, I'm picking on Arizona State here because they actually made the transfer honor roll, which I'll talk about momentarily as well, but they have a very complete profile. So as you can see, within a matter of seconds, now we're looking at a specific university that offers a specific degree that could align me with a specific career. This is all customized for me to look at. And then what I can do is I can add this college to my favorites by clicking the heart. That is my like expert pro tip. You don't understand how important the heart is, not just for you to stay organized, but also for colleges on the other end of this. There are colleges also utilizing PTK Connect. So when we mentioned there's 1,000 partners, unfortunately, there's not 1,000 colleges actively looking for students on this platform, but there are 1,000 colleges occasionally going in and adding scholarship information, adding all of this data. See all of this data? We didn't provide that. The school provided that. So someone from ASU's campus took the time, effort, and energy to expend publishing all of this information for your benefit exclusively. Only PTK members have access to this. So this is for you, literally for you. So they're customizing information for you. You are customizing searches to find colleges and jobs. And hopefully you'll see some scholarships on here that you would like to favorite as well by simply clicking the heart to kind of bookmark those for yourself. And then the nice thing is, if you take that action, if you have that behavior on the platform, clicking that little heart, the school may be able to reach out to you based on their access level and their involvement level with us. They may be able to reach out to you and identify that you are a PTK member who has expressed some interest in their college or university. To add a little context, I did reach out to a couple of colleges before the presentation today, and I asked them to share some insights. You know, what do you wish you would see more of on PTK Connect? And one of the things that colleges told me was if they know that you are a PTK member, which can be expressed by clicking the little heart on this platform like we just looked at, or emailing and saying in the subject line, PTK member, reaching out with a question, or PTK member interested in transfer, they want to know like front and center that you're PTK, because they are telling me they prioritize their communication with PTK members, the opportunities for PTK members. They've even been able to get more scholarships designated, larger awards, or more scholarships, or scholarships in general at all at their college or university because of your behavior. And by behavior, I'm talking about the outreach, right? The favoriting, the emailing, the letting them know instead of just kind of silently putting an application through and hoping somebody sees that you're a PTK member. So be very proud of your PTK membership. Make sure that you're telling people that you're a PTK member in every opportunity possible, especially when it comes to careers and when it comes to colleges. So I hope that's a helpful piece of information, because colleges are definitely telling me that they want to hear from you and they want to hear more often about your PTK membership status. So that is the college search. Again, you can get there just by clicking on, if I didn't know a major, I could just click on Let me look at schools in Arizona that, if I spell Arizona correctly, see, now it's got me spelling it the way I have it. There we go. And then if I want to look at Arizona colleges offering scholarships specifically for PTK. So this is showing you how you can customize your search, based on what you're looking for. And you may find colleges you've never even heard of, which I think is super exciting because you need to expand your search. You probably should not apply to just one college. If you are applying to transfer, I would suggest a plan B, plan C. Things change with you, with colleges. All of those things can change at any time. So just to be safe, having a couple other options that would be suitable, best fit options for you based on your search and your self-reflection would be well advised. So with the scholarship search, you can kind of do things a little differently. So maybe if money is really what's motivating your search, or it's a top priority for you, again, you can search by scholarship instead of by college. And the difference with that is going to be if you want to look for members only PTK scholarships, and maybe you don't even care what state it is, so you can leave that blank. But maybe you want to look at, okay, you know what? I really need to start with the schools that are going to offer full rides. There are some. So if you look at like Riders transfer trustee scholarship, you can actually read about that and see what specifically are the criteria, which is very, very important. And they will update this because they don't want to have misleading information out there. So make sure you are going to this, not just Googling it. What you find on a website might be quite outdated compared to what's right here in front of you. Yes, great question. You can search all colleges on PTK Connect. There are about 3,000 regionally accredited four-year colleges and universities that are searchable in PTK Connect. So that doesn't mean that they're all partnered with us. I guess that's a little bit aspirational for us to have a goal to get more colleges involved with recruiting PTK members and offering scholarships. But, at minimum, if you search for a college and it pops up, you'll be able to see very basic information. If they haven't taken time to go in and enhance their profile yet and add their scholarship listings, it'll probably look a little bare bones and boring. But again, that's a good reason to come to us at collegerelations@ptk.org and say, you know what, I was searching on the platform today and got a little disappointed. I didn't see a whole lot of information out there about XYZ college. What can you do about that? We will respond. We will provide follow-up and try to get their attention and see what's going on there at that particular college and university. So please, be active, be engaged in the platform, not just with the colleges, but with collegerelations@ptk.org so that we know what you're searching for and what you're hoping to find. And that way we can go be a voice for you when we talk to the college and tell them, hey, we had a student reaching out asking about this college, and you didn't have a whole lot to offer on your PTK Connect platform. And that might actually just get the ball rolling a little faster than it would have just coming from us, or coming from our perspective. So please, please, please let us know how we can help and enhance things for you. Before I turn this over to Barbara to give a little bit more of insight to help with how advisors might be able to engage chapter members with PTK Connect and what the outcomes might be, I did want to share just a little bit more of information from the four-year college side. So in that discussion that I was having with some of our four-year partners, we kind of settled on a few things that I just kind of wrote down or jot down as themes in our conversation. One of which was that we don't think that members realize how powerful their behavior is in shaping the priorities of the four-year colleges. So what an example of that would be is if you are constantly reaching out to colleges and letting them know, I met you at a transfer fair. I met you at a PTK virtual conference. I met you at PTK Catalyst. I heard from you on email and you mentioned that I was PTK. I'm reaching back out because I am very interested. All of those little things kind of add up because you're not the only person, hopefully, that's saying those things. Hopefully they're hearing from multiple students. One of the colleges told me that the reason they build a profile on PTK Connect for students to look at is because they feel like it helps expand their reach with their brand and with being able to tell the story of their institution to a new audience. A lot of colleges, unfortunately, don't have unlimited amounts of money to travel. So if you're a college in Maine, you may never get to go to California to recruit students, but you may still have interest in those students. So this is a way that from a distance, some of these colleges are using PTK Connect to tell the story of their college to new markets of students that may be far away, that may be unfamiliar with the name of the university, coming from such a long distance. So the other thing that came through loud and clear for me was colleges want to make investments. They want to invest in students through scholarships and through opportunities. So if a college does not have a scholarship specifically designed for PTK members or transfer students in general, the takeaway is for me, that I was hearing from these colleges is asking about other opportunities. So what else do we have to offer? One thing could be direct admission to the honors college. There might be transfer specific housing. There may be other types of stipends available for books or supplies or resources for college students. So there may be other opportunities that are out there that aren't necessarily a scholarship, but they are also a form of investment in the student. In order to get a scholarship, these colleges were telling me they want to hear your story. And they said that students are underestimating how impactful and relevant student stories are, because you have to imagine what the college is doing. They're going to a big meeting around the table with all of their other people in the departments, right? And everybody's kind of advocating for different priorities and different initiatives. So the people that are in charge of transfer at a university have to represent you, and the most powerful way they can do it is with an engaging, inspiring student story. If they can tell that story and represent you, the chances of scholarships being developed and created and earmarked for PTK members will increase. So again, this all comes back to one central theme. Your behavior matters, your willingness to tell your story matters, and the people on the other end actually want to hear it because they're looking for people to invest in. I hope that that is helpful information from my perspective. I know that that demo was very quick and kind of high level, but I kind of designed it to keep it that way. Just if you have more questions, I'm happy to answer anything you have over email or in the chat here. And I actually want to turn it over to Barbara now, because she actually gave me a very interesting piece of advice about or a mention of what she's doing at the chapter level with their bylaws and how students who are in leadership roles are taking ownership of PTK Connect. So Barbara, can you take that over and let me know more about how that came to be and what are the outcomes and benefits of having your officers trained, so to speak, with PTK Connect?
Well, thank you very much for Heather and the student engagement team for inviting me today. This is a very special opportunity for me. And I do want to say that you've given me some great ideas to start with for the spring, but more importantly for the summer in August, right before the fall semester begins, because that's traditionally when students start looking to transfer, because they're going to graduate and or transfer the next spring, more than likely. However, that's not to say that that's the end of applications, because there are many of our partners and other universities that have rolling admissions. And so a lot of times students are not aware of the information. What I'd like to address first is how I became more involved with looking more carefully at college sponsors and also at PTK Connect. In fall of 20, we had our fall leadership convention, and the alumni are usually asked to do one or two educational forums. And we had a student who had just become delegate at large. She had just transferred to UC Davis that fall. And out of the choices we were given by our regional board, she said PTK Connect, and her eyes lit up. And I thought, okay, I'm working with her. She's the mentee, I'm the mentor. And I said, why? And she said, because it saved me so much time. This is a woman who was totally impacted in her schedule that year before, especially with COVID. She had health issues. She had other financial issues. And she said this was like a godsend for her, because when she clicked on that little heart, those universities started contacting her, and it saved so much time. And so I said, let's do it. And so that's what we did for the FLC 20. The other thing that happened in fall of 19 was that our alumni person who was the sponsor liaison with the colleges and universities had to resign. And so I was sort of between the regional coordinator and the board. The alumni board was appointed to continue to fill that role. And then I was put into place, I guess voted in the spring. And so what I came to realize is that there's this direct correlation. You're working with sponsors. They are also in PTK Connect. And the more I could learn and work with them collaboratively to get other sponsors, even the ones we had, to connect with them was going to require communication. I found that the biggest challenge for me in trying to connect with colleges is that it's really hard to do cold calls, basically when you do not have a direct person to contact. And so by going to PTK Connect, finding out if our sponsors actually had a profile in there, finding out what types of scholarships were available to our members, started broadening my breadth of knowledge and depth of knowledge about each of these institutions and their programs. Often students just come up to me and ask, or say something like, I'm going to need a full ride. I didn't know about the full ride until today. Thank you very much. That's on my list of things to mention. What about scaffolding? Do they just offer, are there scholarships for Phi Theta Kappa? What about other scholarships? Many of our partners offer scaffolding, just like Heather stated. They will, if you meet them at that 3.5 or higher GPA, there's the PTK, there's a Dean Scholarship, there's a department scholarship, and they will keep scaffolding that. What about out-of-state tuition rates? Hey, they're the same for everybody. Will they help me with housing if I go live there? So these are important things for me. Even though I'm an advisor, it's important for me to know about this. So I began attending as many of the virtual transfer fairs as I could, because number one, I wanted to find out more information for my members, but I also wanted to meet some of the representatives and get a direct email address for them so that we could connect in a different way after that. What also happened last spring, as our chapter began to look over our bylaws, is that we noticed that in the 5-star chapter development plan, level 5, number 3, item 3, says that all the officers can complete 1 unit in one of the PTK Edge programs. 1 unit, okay, didn't say the whole thing, or do the leadership program. So we did that. We put that in the job description for our officers. And on top of that, the board said, well, if we're going to put that in, why don't we go into PTK Connect as well? We just had our elections. I had the job descriptions or responsibilities, as we like to call them, and all of that was documented. So students and potential officers know what they're going to be expected to do. And that has been working since last spring of 2022. And even before that, officers were doing that. So the other thing that I like to do is when I send out information about these virtual transfer fairs, I like to write a little paragraph encouraging students, even those who already think they know which colleges they want to attend or they've done some search. I always recommend that they take advantage of 60 minutes or less of their time, because in 60 minutes or less, It can mean the difference between hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars in finances to finance their upper division work, graduate level work, or even postgraduate work. There are even some of our partners who offer scholarships for a doctoral degree, and not just for members, but for advisors as well. I won't say who that university is, but if you want to know, you can contact me. So I think that for what we will do for spring is we will make good use of this recording because it's short and sweet and to the point. It gives students a really quick way to understand how to get into the PTK Connect program. That also shows scholarships and also career opportunities and other types of majors. And it gives, it gives them the support they need to spend as little time to maximize on the other end their benefits. So, I'm going to try to create a list. I like the reflective list. This will help advisors. I'm telling you, in the last couple of years, I have written revised 13 letters of recommendation and or scholarships for transfer, when I could have done less for each of these students if they had done a little bit better job of doing that self-assessment and decided if they want completely online, they want hybrid, they want to go out of state, stay in state, etc. So having a sort of a checklist developed, that will certainly be of assistance. So maybe our chapter will work on this upcoming semester. So thank you very much for this opportunity. Thank you, Heather, for inviting me, and have a good rest of the day, everybody.
Thank you so much, Barbara. And you jogged my memory on two things that I totally forgot. So I need to share this with you. First of all, the checklist that you're referring to, actually, one of my four-year college partners that's very engaged from Athens State University here in Alabama, where I reside, actually asked me, she attended virtual fairs that we put on, and she said, these students are awesome, their questions are excellent, and how can I help create some sort of resource to further take them to the next level, with what they're doing with their transfer research. So I actually co-wrote an article, and if you click on this link, I don't have a direct link to the guide, but I have a link to the article. So if you'll please look in the chat and kind of copy paste this into your browser so it's here when we shut down today. We actually created a transfer planning guide that is exactly a list of the self-reflective questions that we think will best suit and serve students in their search. So that resource does exist if you want to take a look at what we've done and make it more specific to your region. I certainly think there's room for improvement on all things always. So have at it if you would like to take a look at that transfer planning guide. And then the other thing that I need to share with you, going back to my screen share really quickly, for students, if you are on your ptk.org website here, your dashboard, if you click on your own name and go to My Account, you can adjust your settings. So this is what I wanted to show you. When Barbara was talking, I just remembered I need to make sure that you all are opted in to share your information with four-year college recruiters. If this box is unchecked, then you are not visible or searchable in PTK Connect, meaning you can use the resource, you can use the platform and do all the research you want and favorite things and click around and contact the admission people at the schools. You'll have all the bells and whistles, right? But what will not happen is if a college builds a search on students of a certain GPA or a certain major from a certain region, whatever is on their wish list of what an ideal student would look like, you will not be included in that list for outreach. So please know the power is yours in terms of, do you want to be visible and searchable for colleges that are using this platform specifically in hopes of finding the next PTK member to recruit and enroll at their university. So please make sure that you have your preferences adjusted accordingly. And that is how you do it. You click on your name, click on your account, and you adjust your communication preferences right here with the pencil. Last thing on my other list of things I wanted to share, let me go back to my PowerPoint. Hopefully, there we go. These are the additional resources, and Barbara actually mentioned a lot of these already in her commentary. So hopefully you can see my screen still. I think it's up. Okay. We have a few other things we want to talk about that are additional resources or adjacent to college relations in terms of what we do with PTK Connect. One is the virtual fairs. So I think by now you're all aware that we're putting on lots of virtual fairs, and we do them thematically throughout the year to try to organize them and contain them a little bit so that we have ones that will be accessible and interesting for students looking for maybe HBCUs or Hispanic serving institutions or business majors or STEM majors or online universities. We even had a faith-based fair earlier in the year. So we really have tried to create themes around these virtual fairs so it's not a total free-for-all, so that you at least know what you're going to expect by logging into the fair for that 1 hour. And as Barbara mentioned, you can attend these free fairs throughout the year and you don't even have to like say anything. If you don't know what you're doing, we get people that show up and say, I'm here, I don't really know what's going on, but they quickly understand and learn how to use the Zoom platform to navigate the rooms. And the thing that we tell students is you don't have to come with all the answers. You know, you don't have to have your whole life figured out to be here today. All you need to do is be willing to listen. And sometimes just listening to the conversations happening in the different breakout rooms with these college reps and students, the other students might have a question that you never thought of, or have a topic to discuss that you never even have imagined, you know, before. So you might actually get some really good questions and thoughts in your head so that when you go to your four-year college of your choice that you really are interested in, even if they're not at the virtual fair, you can, outside of the virtual fair, follow up with that college rep and say, you know, hey, I just was thinking about something and thought I'd run this by you and ask you. Please reach out to these four-year college transfer recruiters. They are hungry to hear from you, and you are not bothering them. You are not interrupting their day. Their whole point of being and existing is to get questions answered by students who are interested in their university. So every day that goes by that you're wondering if you should or shouldn't reach out to someone is a day wasted, honestly. And it's counter to the behavior that the colleges and universities want to see and expect to see, especially from high achieving students like yourselves. So I hope that hits home. I was a transfer recruiter, and I promise you, I wish the phone would ring and I wish the emails would light up. Like, it wasn't causing me any, my whole goal was to get as many students to enroll as possible. And so it was feeding my goal every time a student reached out to me. And every day where somebody didn't call or email, it was like a day wasted for me as well. So the other thing is we have a transfer honor roll. So some of our colleges that go above and beyond in terms of filling out that transfer profile as thoroughly as possible. It's not just about answering the questions, though. It's actually about what types of resources and opportunities do you provide. So if you're curious to know which colleges were named to the 2022 transfer honor roll, you can easily find that at ptk.org/THR, short for transfer honor roll. And we do this recognition program every year for colleges and universities, because why not? We don't just recognize students and advisors and administrators, but we need to also recognize the college partners who are doing an outstanding job of providing resources and opportunities for transfer students. We also have the EDGE program. So again, we all, I think, have talked about the PTK EDGE programs throughout the year in these chapter development series, but we are huge advocates of PTK Transfer EDGE, as well as all of the other EDGE programs. And in fact, some of our four-year college partners offer credit for completing the EDGE programs. There are a few, there aren't a lot yet, but the word is kind of catching on, and more colleges are starting to come out and ask us questions about how do we get this up and running? How do we offer credit for PTK EDGE completion? That really shows initiative. So colleges are impressed when students take initiative, and this is firm example or firm evidence of you doing something that involves maybe, you know, using your free time to enrich yourself or skill develop versus looking around on social media and TikTok. So not saying those are bad things, but just saying priorities, right? So if you want to take initiative and do things that are going to impress colleges, you got to tell them what you're doing. And if you're doing the EDGE programs, then I think that's worth mentioning as you tell your story. You're trying to get them to invest in you, so make sure that you're giving them a reason. PTK Catalyst is another resource. So we have a huge college transfer fair at PTK Catalyst in person, which is very exciting, with typically over 100 colleges. colleges. So again, you get to kind of sharpen your skills and get in front of some of these recruiters who are on PTK Connect, kind of hiding behind a profile, but now you actually get to come to Catalyst and meet them face to face. And so, yes, I saw somebody asking me a question to show something once more, and I'm not sure what you wanted to see. So I can do that again if you need me to show you something. So let me know. And then fifth and final on the slide is PTK scholarships. So those are the internal scholarships. And to Barbara's point, a lot of these colleges stack scholarships. So if you hear that a college offers a $1,000 PTK Connect scholarship, don't just roll your eyes and say, oh, only $1,000, you know, that's weak compared to some of the other colleges. It might not be weak because their top level transfer scholarship might be $15,000. And then they're offering an additional above and beyond extra $1,000 for PTK members, for example. That's just a made up example. That's probably not the best numbers to use, but let's pretend that there's a college out there doing that. The other thing is the internal scholarships are the ones funded from PTK as an organization. So there are students who receive scholarships from PTK as an organization, and they also receive what we call external scholarships in this case, which would be the university funded version of a PTK scholarship, where they're appropriating their own funds toward PTK members. So you actually can receive awards from multiple directions if you want to think about it that way. Just for being a PTK member, you may be eligible for additional scholarships above and beyond just what PTK offers, or above and beyond just what the university offers. You might qualify and receive both, which would be pretty exciting. So those are all the resources that we have available to us. And if anyone has questions about these programs or any of the PTK Connect related content that we discussed, I'm happy to take a few minutes to just address anything else that we might have left off and clarify anything that we might have mentioned. And I hope, Barbara, I forgot to ask you, I have your Gmail account on here. Can people email you at this Gmail account?
Absolutely.
Okay, good, because it's already on the screen. All right.
I see that.
Wonderful, wonderful. And here's me. Mine is heather.yush, but if you forget, it's easier to probably just remember all one word, collegerelations@ptk.org. So this is how and where you can find us. If anyone needs anything, I see a couple. Oh, great. Someone is working on setting up PTK transfer scholarship with their school leadership. If we can offer anything, please let us know. We have a lot of resources, information, stats, data. You know, the strongest evidence, I'll just give you this pro tip right now, because this is what I usually do. A college will come to me and say, I want to start a PTK scholarship. How much should I offer? And what are my competitors doing? In other words, what are other colleges who are similar to me doing? I don't know everybody's competitor, you know, in terms of like, are you talking about institutions nationwide, or just in your region, or just in your state, or just in your county? Like, I don't know how people define competitors, right? Because it's different to everyone. But what you can do is tell them, if they are a four-year college representative, email college relations, ask for a login. We'll create free access for them, and they can get into PTK Connect and look at everything. So some colleges are using PTK Connect to do market research to figure out what their competitors are doing, so that they can then go to their administration with an actual list of amounts. I did this at LSU. I'll just be 100% transparent. I had to come up with a cultivated list using PTK Connect at that time. It was called something else, but I used it for market research purposes, and I was able to pull up a list of our competitor institutions and say, well, look at this. All of these other colleges are offering this amount, this amount for stackable awards, this many competitive awards, this many automatic awards. I had all the data right in front of me that I needed, and sure enough, we were able to fund a transfer scholarship and eventually a PTK scholarship because of that data. So I hope that helps. You know, tell the four-year college rep, email us, we'll give them access, and then they can have all the data that they want to create a case for funding a PTK scholarship. Any other questions? I'm just reading through the chat, making sure I didn't miss anything. Anyone else?
Heather, I'll jump in and add something. When I was an advisor, I was kind of like Barbara. I was interested to see what scholarships were available to my students because of their membership in Beta Gamma. And so I ended up using it as a recruitment tool. So I kept a watch on, you know, what University of Alabama was doing, what Athens was doing, Athens State. And I actually used that when I made flyers to encourage people to join. I would put all of the colleges on that flyer that offered PTK scholarships. So it was a great recruitment tool. I was like, hey, you pay us $80, but you get, you know, $1,000 at UNA when you transfer. So that's a no-brainer, right? To pay $80 one time and get, you know, a PTK scholarship. So that was one of the ways I utilized that information when I was an advisor. So just keeping up to date with, you know, what sort of opportunities are out there for those, especially those institutions that you know your students are going to transfer to anyway. It just makes sense to have that information.
I love that idea. That was one of the best recruitment opportunities ever. So like as far as being a four-year college representative, a lot of times you have to kind of like reach out to the community college and ask, can I go set up a table and start recruiting students in the hallway and kind of hope and pray that, you know, some people walk by and have an interest. The opposite of that would be, though, a four-year college that's engaged with PTK Connect. They can pre-notify students who are at these community colleges and let them know, here's where I'm going to be, what time, location on your campus. I know you're a Phi Theta Kappa member. I'm bringing special information for you about our top scholarships. This can transform not just recruitment for the four-year college, but recruitment for the community colleges in terms of the PTK chapter. Because the next thing I would do after I hosted my little table in the hallway, after I pre-notified all the PTK members where to find me, then I would go into the college or the organization fair, like the club or organization fair they would have once a semester. And I would sit right next to the PTK chapter table as a representative of the four-year college, and they would do their recruitment right there for the PTK chapter and then slide them down the table and say, now go talk to her and she's going to tell you about how you're going to qualify for an automatic $3,000 scholarship. But you have to join PTK to gain access to that money. So that was it took me a couple years, I got to admit, to figure out that that was the best strategy and the best way to do this. But again, if any colleges or chapters have questions about how to kind of execute this, I fumbled around for a number of years and figured out everything there was to know and kind of made PTK the center of my transfer recruitment strategy. So I know a lot of things that I tried that didn't work and a lot of things that I did do that worked very, very well. And I'm able to now share with other four-year colleges. So please, guys, I really mean it. If you need anything from us, our team is accessible at College Relations, and we all are four-year college former four-year college representatives on our team. So we all have kind of different strategies that we've employed in different parts of the country in our previous life as college recruiters and admission counselors. So reach out to our team. One of the three of us, we all have a vast array of experience and can offer some advice and guidance if you're having any issue maybe with four-year college relations or university relations in your area. So thank you guys so much for being here and for joining us and having so many questions and feedback. We really, really appreciate you promoting PTK Connect. It is making opportunities more accessible at colleges and universities, and the prioritization of PTK members is probably stronger and higher than ever before in terms of my past 6 years of working here. So students, keep reaching out, keep engaging. You're doing a great job of making it known that you're PTK members, and the more you do that, the more our job is a lot easier in terms of convincing colleges to create scholarships for you.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Heather. Barbara, raise your hand, so we'll let Barbara say a few things, and then I'm going to close it out for the day.
Okay. Well, thank you. I just wanted to follow on Heather's coattails by saying I did exactly that in October at Merritt College. Our chapter tabled at the transfer fair, and we had our chapter president. I had to walk around and start collecting business cards for recruitment of potential sponsors for our leadership and convention. And after a while, the transfer reps were coming up to us saying, here's my card, and we offered this much to PTK members. And I had never thought to do that. So yes, it does work, and we plan to do that again. So thank you for your example, and just wanted to say Good job. Thank you.
Thank you. Heather, if you could stop sharing your screen so I could share mine in a second. I want to show everybody where they'll be able to find this recording and the PowerPoint sometime tomorrow or the next day, but real soon. And this way, maybe you could have a chapter meeting and share. This is another great way of sharing what you are learning with fellow members and the members in your chapter by sharing the video and stuff that's on Get an Edge. But before I do that, I wanted to really thank Heather and Barbara for sharing all of this very important PTK membership benefit. As a former advisor, I did not have the privilege of working with PTK Connect. It was a different system way back when, and this is way better, more intuitive, and definitely something that you should, whether you're an advisor or an alum supporting the chapter or a member or an officer, that definitely you should share. This is just awesome. There's a like button, y'all. That's all you gotta do is like, and they'll come flooding to you. It's better than the like button on Facebook, right? So definitely take a look at that. And that's pretty awesome. So I'm going to share my screen just to show everybody where you're going to be able to find it. Tomorrow, we're going to upload it in getanedge.ptk.org. When you go into it, you'll see all of the different I'm going to get back one, all of the different courses that you can. Why is this doing this to me again? Hold on a second. Let me get back. You'll see all the courses, but you want to look for PTK program resources. And this is where all of the recordings are that we've done. And we're going to put this particular one in a new category called membership benefits. And you will see it'll say PTK Connect, and you'll be able to go in. Advisors, members, officers, everybody will have access to this, and you'll be able to share the recording and also the PowerPoint. So I just wanted you to know where you'll be able to find it. Thank you for joining us. This is our last advisor student member session for the year. We'll be back on January 11th as we rock the finish line to 5-star chapter, and you'll be hearing more information about that when we come back. For advisors, I hope to see most of you tomorrow. That reminder's coming out to all of you. We're just going to do a little cheers to advisors tomorrow and celebrate all of you. And then also, one of the other things that we want to do is make sure that you have access to all of the things while we're on break, because who's working on hallmarks? I know, right? Yeah. So we want you to be able to find all those resources while everyone's on break as well. So thank you for coming. It's been wonderful. And we hope to see you again real soon. If we don't get to talk to you, have a great winter break and holiday season. Thanks again.